Right, hello everyone. Welcome to Sunday Night with Hilly, and we are here, of course, for HRF1, and it is a sprint week. So we are at Great Britain, Silverstone, and it is short qualifying sprint race followed by the usual 50% feature race. Hello, Whoopi. Oh, he's definitely talking to me. Look, hey, gorgeous. He says that's clearly aimed at me. Um, Hello back, young sir. Right. Okay. So I've told you where we are. I have got somebody to come in for an interview. So I've done all my sharing about. I'm actually really sort of on the what's the word? On the I don't know. I don't know. I'm really sort of I've done everything. I've shared everything. I've done everything I need to. So I am literally inviting them in for the interview at the correct time. I've really impressed myself. I think this is the first time it's ever happened on time. Hello, Mr. C Phipps. I don't know what to call you. What should I call you? Sorry, Cam. Okay. Hello, Cam. Um, Welcome. Look, I know we're doing this slightly different to what I usually would be tonight, so I don't know how exactly you include your audio. I don't know if you need to tick a box like people
Including
on
your
Xbox do.
audio, include your audio and broadcast. There it is.
Excellent, excellent. So hopefully people can hear you. Um, there we go. Uh, Excellent. Okay. Well, first of all, Cam, I'm just trying to check the stream a second.
All right.
Anyway, there we go. I think it's okay. Right. Okay. Well, first of all, hello, and
Hello.
how are you?
Yeah, not too bad, mate.
Good.
Done a bit of
Good.
practice for this race.
Yeah. So you've been in the practice lobby, haven't you?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad, innit?
Good. Um. So, well, first of all, I just want to sort of just talk about the start of the season so far. How are things going for you?
Well, I just changed my setup from that little one I had back to a Moser. Well, back to a Moser, so it should be going better now.
Excellent.
I bought myself a new rig, so
Oh, nice. Okay. So, um, that's all set up.
I
And
was on a
are you feeling like you're used to it now?
getting there. It's just my first week on it, so
Ah, okay.
last
Okay.
week I was on the Logitech still.
That's right. Now I remember. Yeah. Sorry, you're jogging my memory as you're saying. Actually. So yeah. Okay. So it has meant actually that you've not had your sort of best start to a season at the moment, but hopefully now then with your new rig and everything sorted, you'll kick on up the league a little bit.
Yeah,
Um,
hopefully.
yeah. You have shown little flashes of some very good driving and some good form, so I think you can do that. I don't think there's going to be any problem for you. So once you're absolutely used to your new setup, and
Yeah.
you'll be good. But yeah, you're getting your practice in as well. So how much practice do you generally manage to do per week?
So this week I put in quite a lot of practice because I've got the new rig, so I'm trying to actually get used to it. So this week I probably put in probably 100 laps.
Okay,
So
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
that's a decent amount, isn't it? So yeah, it's not too bad. Um, okay. Um, I'm just sort of having a quick look at the Discord. Sorry, not the Discord. At the chat here. Whoopi is blessed because he can hear two of us tonight. So, in case anybody's not recognised the accents, we are both Bristolian. So, best city in the world?
it's got to be done it
I
really.
think so. I can't think of any others, to be honest. It's in the top five largest in the UK now, and it's growing all the time. Well,
Oh.
actually, I left in 2007, and it's massive compared to when I left now. So yeah, it's growing all the time. But there
Yeah.
we are. Gorgeous accents in a way, says Whoopi, and we're making him blush apparently. So there you go. He likes it. All right, right. Let's move on then, because we've got about 5 minutes until we go into quali, and we've got to make sure we get this part done. So, do you or have you so far this season been able to listen to the streams from the start?
But your stream,
Yeah.
I've watched a couple of them, but obviously I'm busy, so I
So,
don't tend to keep it on while I'm going.
no, of course not. No, but okay. So, have you watched from the beginning? So, do you know what we've been doing in the interviews so far?
Craig told me to do some general knowledge thing, which
Yeah.
I wasn't aware of before I agreed to this.
Okay. I do apologise about that, but oh well, the West Country says Steve. Get in, lad. Aberdeen the best. I don't think it is. I don't know what he's been smoking. Um, okay, right. Yeah. So basically, it's just a general knowledge quiz. It's 5 questions. Okay. I try and keep the same sort of layout each week. Different questions, but same layout. Okay. So it's going to be a more sort of easy question, followed by a harder question, then a multiple choice question, followed by a question about gaming, and then about the news this week for the last one. Okay, so here we go. So your sort of easier question. They're only easy, of course, if you know them. So none of them are easy, really. What is the capital city of Brazil?
Rio de Janeiro.
No,
Oh,
unfortunately
fuck.
not. Used to be until 60 something, 62, I think, when they changed it to Brasilia. Unfortunately.
Didn't even know
Um,
it was a city. I didn't know of Rio.
right. Well, Rio de Janeiro is River of January. That's what it stands for. But yeah, used to be the capital city, but changed in the 60s. But yeah, there we go. The second one, I was a little bit surprised about this when I wrote this one and found the answer. So, what is cynophobia the fear of? Now, I'm going to spell this for you, okay? So it's CYNO phobia.
No idea. Sinophobia sounds like fear of sign language, but guess I'm wrong.
It's as good as guess as any. I was really surprised with this. Anybody in having a little guess now? Hey Axel, and it's the fear of dogs, which surprised me. I thought that would be like canophobia or something like that, but no, cynophobia. So there we go. Are you a Game of Thrones fan?
Yeah, I do like Game of Thrones. Yeah.
Oh, that's good because the next your multiple choice question is on Game of Thrones. So here we go. In Game of Thrones, Winterfell is the ancestral home of which family? Is it A, the Starks, B, the Lannisters, or C, the Targaryens?
Hey, the Starks.
Yes. Well done. He's on the board. He's on the board. Well done. Yeah. So the Starks. I can't remember what. I know the Lannisters is that castle. Castle. Ah, I forgot what it's
Castle
called.
Black.
That's it. And Targaryens. I'm not too sure, to be honest, because
Targaryens. That's she's there near the end.
yeah, I can't remember
I
though.
can't
I
remember.
can't remember. It's not very much in it, is it? So, okay, right. On to question number 4, which is the video game question. Okay, and I love this question. What was the first ever commercially released video game? And I'll
um,
tell you the year. It was 1972.
I got give something like fucking Tetris.
Oh no, I like the guess, but no,
Tetris for
was
Android
quite
or
a bit
something.
late.
I'd have thought.
Tetris was 90s. Well, it might have been 80s actually that it was produced, but I know it's the first game played in. Actually, I'm not going to say this. Should I say this because I could use this question on a future quiz? But
Yeah, but
Tetris
I'll
was the
Google it.
first game ever played in space. So that's a good one for you. But no, the first commercially released video game was Pong in 1972.
Ah, yeah, I need a
Which
one.
was a great little game. It was like tennis, wasn't it? With sliders on the side
Yeah.
and knock the ball back and forth. It's a good game. Um, okay. Final question. So this one is always about the news of the last week. Okay, and this has been massive. So They've started a little bit early, by the way, so I'm going to rush through this so we can get you out on track. Right, so the final question. We lost this week an Irish legend in Sinead O'Connor. Which song made her famous that was originally written by Prince?
I have no idea what a new Sinead O'Connor is.
Sinead O'Connor, the singer. Really?
Yeah, if people sang me this song, I might know her, but I don't
Right,
know,
here we
mate.
go. Right. Nothing compares to you. Do you know that one?
Uh, no.
No!
Sorry, bud. No, sorry, mate.
Unbelievable. Sorry, I would have prepared the singing a bit better for you if I knew I was going to have to sing it, but um, I can't believe
Oh,
you don't know that
serious.
song. You need to look it up on YouTube and search it because it's a hell of a song. Um,
Yeah, I'll
yeah.
listen to it now while qualifying.
She cries bees during the video. It's awesome. Um,
Oh, nice.
okay, and Massey says rest in peace because she was a true legend. So, okay, well that was a disappointing end. For you not to know that one. Well, it's
Yeah,
one out of
sorry about
five. It's
that,
one out
mate.
of five. But yeah, no, I appreciate that you got Game of Thrones. I'm really happy about that. Oh, it's wet. It's wet, Quali.
Yeah,
Ooh,
just realised that.
is it? You got
That'd be
access to
fun.
the weather? Is it wet all the way?
The quality's the only wet part. Looks that sprint
Good.
and race should be dry, so
Oh, that's all right.
it will
It
be a dry
puts all of
setup.
Gunner's quality practice to waste, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, Cam, thank you very much for joining me for the interview. Who
No
knows with your
worries.
new setup and everything? Maybe I'll be seeing you for a uh, podium interview at the end, but we shall see. But whatever position is, best of luck. Okay,
All
and
right,
I will
thank
see
you,
you
buddy.
soon.
All
Thanks
right,
for joining me, man.
enjoy the race.
Will do, and you. See you later.
See you in a bit.
There he goes. So, thank you very much, Cam, for that. Actually, that's the first time I spoke to Cam. I know, believe it or not, there is actually four of us Bristolians, I believe, in HRF1. It's not planned. We don't all know each other. It's just complete coincidence. Um, Singing on. Thank you, guys. He's got the X Factor. That wasn't even trying. That was more talking than singing. I actually can sing. I just to tell you that I actually can. Not brilliantly, like my dad. He's amazing, but I can a little bit. Axel just found out that I can talk in Xbox parties on my PC. So from now on, excellent, good man. We'll have to sort that out between us then, Axel. So that is literally what Cam's just done. From what I gather, he's got I think it's the Xbox app or something like that. So that's how he's just managed to talk to me. So that's yeah, get that set up, Axel, and then I can speak to you and hear what you sound like. Right, who's first out on track? Let's find that car. That is Gunnar. No surprise there. Mr. Whale singing on point. Who was that? Who was what? That was Cam. That was. Oh, on your screen, that is C Phipps. So CPHIPPS. Currently in ninth in the Williams. On your screen. That's who that was. So I've been in Discord for plenty of time, and so I know him that way, but never spoken to him before that I can remember, so... Well, no, I wouldn't have done, because I wouldn't have been able to speak to PC drivers or anything before, so... There we go. Anyway, on to the first flying lap of the evening in these clearly very difficult conditions. Would make us a very interesting grid for the sprint race, to say the least. Now, for those of you that follow my streams or watch them back when you get a chance or anything like that, you'd have noticed we were here. Oh, sorry, my dad having a bit of a coughing fit in the background. Yeah, so you'd have noticed that we were here on Friday with PRF1, where we had an absolutely sensational race. So HRF1 has got a lot of sort of living up to that to do. But both sprint race and full race were insane on Friday. Really, really good. So we hope that continues tonight, but we've got to navigate this difficult qualifying session first. So just come up to the end of sector 2. And 1 minute 12.6 to give us some sort of idea. Could have made that clear. So I literally told you look, Mr. Well, I did actually tell you, literally right at the start of the interview, I said, hello, Mr. C. Phipps. What shall I call you? And he said, Cam. Did you not listen to the whole thing, Mr. Well? Hey, did you not listen to the whole thing? But that's what it is. Right, Gunnar. Oh, how did that happen? Crowden literally behind us. Oh, he is, look. Crowden caught up to us. Okay, Gunnar 140.2, Corey 139.2, 138.4 from Bowden, Longest 40.8, 42.8 for Steve, Whoopi is invalidated, somebody else just crossed the line, Bartas 141.9, where is Boulange? $138.5 goes P2 for the moment. Obviously, in these conditions, you tend to find that drivers will continuously improve as they go, so you have to get used to the track. My bad for being late. Well, there you go. Give yourself a little spanking there, Mr. Well. As Ronaldo comes down to Stowe. Oh, actually, yeah, something I had to say at the start of the stream on Friday. If I get any of the corner names wrong, please don't message me. I don't really care. I just, I did learn them once upon a time, but I'm getting on a little bit, and my mind's not what it used to be, and I forget things. So, if I get the corner names wrong, message Whale and tell him that the commentator's getting it wrong. Or Whoopi, he can take your messages as well, but don't message me. I don't wish to know. Chris on a lap. What's your favourite corner name? Stowe is becoming my favourite corner name. I'm not actually sure if it's the one at the end of the straight or not, but that's the one I called Stowe. It's fun to name. Although actually, no, you gotta. It's Spa. Pouon. You can't like Pouon. Pouon. What a corner name that is. So Chris, sorry, has gone 39.6. Let's go to Gaza, see how he's getting on in the Red Bull. First corner in sector 3 is Stowe. Yeah, that, at the end of the straight. So I am getting the right corner. Hey! You know the names, you don't need to tell it. Okay. Yeah, but I'm not asking them to tell you the names. I'm just asking them to direct their telling me to you so that you can forward it on if you so wish, but please don't. Gaza then through Maggots of Beckett's. 1:13.4. I really can't remember what Gunnar's time was there. Hunter is out on the full wets, interestingly. He's done a 39.8, so there's not a massive amount of difference there, unless that was on into that lap. Somebody jumped up then, not sure who it was. Gaza anyway, across the line, 1:40.8, goes P13 for the moment. His teammate Checo is also on a lap. I have heard that about you, Mr. Well, that you prefer maggots. I prefer Beckett's. So, you're a maggot, you're a maggot, I'm a Beckett. There you go. That's sorted that old argument out. Chico out of Stowe. And into what I just call the stadium section, because, yeah, I obviously learned that one. And there's a stadium there. So, unfortunately, Checo really out of sorts through the stadium, but he does still go faster than Gaza. So into P13, and therefore a lot of time in the stadium section there left for him. So it'll be interesting to see. Here is our current provisional pole sitter. Chicken and chips was lovely. Thank you very much. It was chicken and fries. Chicken and fries, really. But, yeah, it was lovely. Thank you very much for asking. I'm really glad. Yeah, have you had yours yet? Do you know what you had? Because you didn't even know what you were having. I asked earlier. So. Oh, Byron into the... They always go into the pits, don't they? Scary. Who's that McLaren? Let's have a look. Oh, who was that? That's Gaza. Off. I'll figure out where he is. This is the final corner, isn't it? Yeah. Around at the final corner, but recovers it in a way. Hunter, who was out on those wets, has gone back in again. So I suspect he will change to intermediates. It's worth a go though. I mean, he's sitting P12, so it was worth a little shout, wasn't it? Who was that? Somebody just jumps up then. Is that Lycorius? No, he done his lap a while ago. Oh, it's Chris. He's gone into P6 for Haas. That's done. Let's go to... Well, I was going to say let's go to Lycorius, but he's over a second down in sector 1. Hey Corey, how's he faring, my Thursday teammate? Oh... He says he literally has 0 grip. I guess you've got to... Whoopi, you've got to set up for the dry if everything's going to be dry, so you can't really set up for these conditions, so it is going to be slippery regardless, I guess. But you're doing okay, mate. You're in P4. Doing nicely. PRF1 or HRF1, which one is the quickest? Good question. PRF1 is the quickest, I would say, but on races so far this season, HRF1 are easily outperforming PRF1 in terms of how good the races are. In fact, PRF1 had more safety cars in one race than HRF1 have had in 4, so yeah. So it depends what you look at. So outright pace, yes, PRF1 are probably faster, but in terms of on-track ability, HRF1 have been much better. So there we go. Pizza for Whale, WAOF1 for Axel. Well, the truth is, if you talk about pace, WAOF1's got car seat, so they they win because they got car seat. So not just car seat, got car seat, Sainty, Reed. They're all lightning fast on their day. Stupid fast. Craig just heading for the line. Doesn't look like he's improving, unfortunately. Let's go down. We've got a couple of reserves tonight. So Real Joker is a reserve. Let's see how he's getting on. Who is our other... Oh, it's Steve, our other commentator. So our Monday night commentator. He was with me on the comms last week, but... oh wow, that is a horrendous. Well, Whoopi and you both said something horrendous to each other. I think you should make up. Shake hands and make up. Or have a kiss, whatever it is you want to do. As Joker runs out wide at Cops. And Marcus Beckett is a little wide on the second part there. And oh, whoa, stop. Don't put the power down. Don't put the power down. That's 6, yeah. Okay, this lap's gone, but you'll live to fight another day. Another lap. Let's go down to my fellow commentator then, Steve, and have a look at how he's getting on. So I just missed the split sign there. You only kiss me. Oh, that's very, very kind. Thank you very much. Sorry, Whoopi. Whoopi's actually out on a lap, so I doubt he's listening to us in a way well now. Right, let's go up then. Launch into P3. Massive. I didn't even realise he was there. Didn't even know he was driving, but he's gone into P4 and displaced Whoopi. He's coming up to the stadium. Oh, no, he's going into the pits. Probably crying too much to be able to complete a lap there well because of what you've said, so... Boulogne a 10th up through sector 1. That's the end of sector 2 now. It's a little bit of oversteery moment there, and I suspect that will have affected his pace all down the straight, and he backed out there in a way that pulled off right off the throttle. So SimSpot has a new set of tyres on. SimSpot is X11. So it's the same teammates, X11 and Volungus. I don't know why he's calling himself SimSpot now. I've got no idea. If you want to know that, please send Well a message, and Well will find out for you and get back to you. SimSpot just over a tenth up through sets of 1, but has a little bit of a tiniest little moment really going into the right-hander. Is that Luffield, I think? I think the right-hander's Luffield, or is Luffield the left-hander? I don't know which is which, but there's a Luffield around there somewhere. Through Cops. Nice on the exit. Put that much wheel off track at Cops, it always validates me. Yeah, I've just realised we've done a hilly hot lap. Yeah, the best TMs to everyone apparently. Oh, look, see, Wolfie's crying. Why did you have to say that, Well? That was so mean. So SimSpot into the stadium, and we have 2 minutes 50 left, so let's get that hilly hot lap in pretty quick. So a 4/10 improvement for SimSpot puts him up to P5. It's on a lap, but I need really an outlapper. Should I go with the man that we've spoken to tonight? He's currently in P12 with his new rig setup. So Cam Phipps. I guess that's what I call it from now on. Cam Phipps. As Massey has just nipped into P5. McLaren has not crossed the line, so Massey did not nip into P5. Somebody's nipped ahead of him. I think it was Chris in the Haas has nipped into, or had nipped into P4, but Hunter has just displaced him. So is the track getting quicker, or the driver's getting quicker? As Cam is heading down to Stone now. Let's hope you don't invalidate. Please don't invalidate, Cam. Please don't invalidate. Just drive your lap, do a lovely little lap, gain a few places, show us how to do it. Please. So into the stadium. You're already setting your lap up here, looking to get a good exit. Getting power as best you can, especially in these conditions. It will serve you well to start your lap well. And we head now up to turns 1 and 2. Flat out in the dry, of course, a little bit of a lift in the wet, as you can see. Down to turn 3. Heavy late braking for a late apex enables you to open up steering and get on the power a little bit between corners 3 and 4 for this tight left-hander. The secret here is just to be able to open up your steering and get on the power every little bit earlier. You can get on the power there, will gain you a bit of time. Flat out left-hander even in these conditions, and then down to the left-hander here is that sort of strange late turn-in apex, and then you don't want to be close to the curb here. You just about right there from Cam. You want to be sort of about a metre away roughly from the inside curb. Spidey goes quick as 37.7. We head up to Cops, which in qualifying now in the dry would be flat out. Obviously quite a lift in the wet. Then we go through Maggots and Beckett's. Again, this part would be flat out in the dry, and then lifting through the left and down to sit for the right is what you would be doing in the dry. Obviously had to be a little bit lower in the wet, and then you would have DRS open down this straight, just over half a second up from Cam. Very nice lap so far into Stowe with this late turn-in apex again, which would allow you to get on the power that much quicker to take you into the stadium. Then we have the heavy braking, late turn-in left. Keep the turn-in as left as you can, so open up the right-hander. That is what allows you to be able to get on the power much quicker through the rest of the stadium, and over the line. Improves by 3/4 of a second and up to P7. Superb lap, Cam. Very nicely done. Immediately goes down to P8. He's actually on an identical time to Chris in the Haas. Chris set it first though, so he will hold the higher spot. Bowden looking fantastic. All sorts of drivers crossing the line. Bowden hasn't finished yet, but he's 2.3 down. Pole's looking great for him though. Sorry, where's Gunnar? He's just coming up to the stadium now. He is improving. the moment through sector 2 the improvement wasn't enough to take pole, but he could nick P2 here. And no, he does improve, but he stays P4. Very, very tight. Very, very tight. Between those guys, we've got Volungus and Corey. Volungus crosses the line, no improvement. Corey is almost half a second up through sector 2. What can he do in the final sector? 38.6 puts him in P8. Nice lap at the end from Corey, well done. Yes it is, Whoopi. Yes it is, my friend. But P3 from you nonetheless. Very nice lap, mate. And congratulations to Bowden, who takes pole position for the sprint race. So effectively this is the sprint qualifying, so go into the sprint race. Bowden in the Ferrari on pole. Congratulations, young man. Well done. I can deal with no TC, he says. He's been practicing and it shows he's doing well. Going by those times, it's I guess he wouldn't mind those conditions staying as they are, but it doesn't look like they're going to. It looks like the rest of it will be dry. But anyway, it's Bowden on pole, Belange with a very good qualifying in P2, Whoopi P3, Gunnar 4, Massey 5, Lycoria 6, Hunter 7, Corey in 8th. Remember, the top 8 in the sprint will score points. Chris in 9th, Cam P10 in the end, Simspot, who's X11 in P11, Volungus 12, two teammates together there, Craig in P13, Monsters 14, Joker on debut in 15, Gaz is 16, Steve 17, Checo, Bartas and Ronaldo fill out the rest of the grid in that order. So please remember, guys, if you're a driver listening, there is a break, so do not ready up. In fact, at any point, never ever ready up until an admin does so, or tells you to. So, simplest way of doing it. I am going to need another coffee, so I'm going to go and grab a coffee. Thanks to everybody else that's joined so far. Just a small break now before we go into the sprint. I'm just going to quickly grab another coffee before that starts, so I'll see you in a moment. Unbelievably, I've missed the start. That wasn't a proper break. What's going on? Right, position changes. Belange is taking the lead as we watch on. So, Bowden down to 2, Whoopi 3 still, Massey up to 4, Gunnar 5, Hunter 6, Chris up 2 places to 7 so far. The biggest mover so far is Gaza up 4 places to P12. Checo, his teammate, is the second biggest mover up 3, so a good start to the sprint race for Red Bull. I've just seen Whoopi's message in the Discord. No break, man. Get back on stream. Sorry, guys, for missing that. I didn't know that. I will know for next time, I guess. It's Bowden then. He has a look at the outside of Belange, but nowhere near far enough alongside to have a go. At the moment, his job really is to keep him in this sort of range, because if he is when the DRS opens, Bowden will have a relatively easy run. Let's have a quick look at the tyres. as you can see, quite a mixture of soft and mediums. Right, a little look-see inside, but it's never far enough alongside really to be having a look there. But Boulange left the room though, for him to have a look, and Boulange holds him off. So head down now. It's yeah. So basically, we've got 9 starting on the softs, 11 on the mediums. When I was doing the commentary here on Friday for PRF1, I did sort of think I was rather unsure about the soft starters and how well they'll be able to do, but actually the softs did do the sprint race reasonably easily. There's a little bit of grass flying up there as they come through cops. Cam picks up 3 seconds. Lots going on, as you can see. Really close. Bowden's going to get a run here. Still got the pace when he comes out of the slipstream. We're going to be side by side, I believe, into Stowe. Well, Bowden just about has the lead before reaching the corner. And around the outside, nicely done from the young man. Boulange files in behind him, with Whoopi just behind that. As we enter lap 3, which means DRS active. And Hunter actually sets the fastest lap of the race there in P6. So turn 3, see everybody really tight. Problem for someone like Gunnar or Hunter, who are P5 and P6 here, or Chris in 7th, is they're stuck in a sort of DRS train here, so they don't really get any advantage. Well, as I say, that Chris does get an advantage over Hunter, and makes the move up the inside into the left-hander. Very nicely done from Chris. Plenty of room left from Hunter. Nice job, guys. Oh, Cam's dropping down. He's spun at the left-hander, in fact, that we just saw the overtake on. So he gets going again. Bartos is just coming round. His teammate actually is coming round. Puts Williams down to 19 and 20. So we go again. DRS, of course, open here for Boulange, so he's going to take this place back. Almost identical to the move that Bowden made without the DRS, where he'd taken the place before they reached the break-in, and so Bowden files in behind. Who was that then? That was Willow. This long switch fastest lap this time. DRS would have helped on that straight. I think it's these two I must have seen actually. So Chris and Gunnar very tight here. At the moment, the softs are probably enjoying now what will probably be the last lap of their superiority, I would imagine, as a tyre. After this lap, I would have thought they'd be almost even. Sorry, just to go back to the front, Bowden has made the move into this left-hander. Really right to Luffield now. She has a little look back, but realises, to be quite honest with you, there isn't much sort of point in taking that position back at that stage, as be giving the DRS away anyway for this straight. So here comes Boulange once more, and again it's going to be a relatively easy overtake done before they reach the corner. See it once more. I just have to get back into the stream on my phone because for some reason it stopped. So I'm just getting back in. There we go, and everything's running fine. So, how are we? I don't particularly want to stick on watching the same two drivers the whole race, but the truth of the matter is there's a lot of action going on here. There is chances elsewhere on track. Gaz is now up to P11. So, Ronaldo and Craig having a bit of a battle. Let's have a look at that. Looks like Ronaldo's taking that. Sorry, it looks like Craig's taking that spot. So P18. I think Ronaldo was the aggressor there actually. So I think he just didn't make the move. So I think Craig's just held on as Cam makes the move on Steve. Gets at the. I don't remember when out the inside or the outside, but he ran slightly wide, which allows Steve to try and come back, but then has a little wide moment himself, and Cam holds the place as we now head up to Ops once more. Ooh! Almost like Cam got sort of shoved out wide by the curb there. And, a couple of changes up here. Sorry, let's go to this. And that's why you don't come off of the battles which are happening. Double overtake there. Oh, Bowden! No, what have you done? I don't know what he done, but he's dropped down the P6. And he had some sort of moment through the stadium. That just shows you, doesn't it? One little moment, one little mistake, or whatever it was. And he drops down to P6. As we see the Haas ahead of us having a little moment there, and that allows Gunnar back through. Gunnar back to P4. It's vulnerable. Bowden has a little launch down the outside, but that's a long, long way to go around there. So Chris able to hold that off reasonably easily. Hunter with a chance on Lycorius here for P7, as we've got yellow flags. That looks to me like it's Ronaldo. Yeah, it is, yeah. Ronaldo just off the track, but he's recovering okay, so let's get back to it. So who was I watching? Yeah, let's have a look at this one. So this is Lycorius in P7, but Ferrari, despite Bowden dropping down, Ferrari's still having a very strong in so far in the sprint. And McLaren 2, who are 3 and 8. Ferrari 6 and 7, McLaren 3 and 8. Despite Bowden dropping down, Boulogne hasn't been able to pull away by over a second. Hopefully he's riding his sights still. Here. Bowden. He's become that man, hasn't he? He's become the guy at the back that's of this, well, not at the back, you know what I mean, at the back of this little group. Which means he's the one that is really stuck at the back of a DRS train. But very difficult as Monsters picks up a penalty and loses a play. He loses a couple of places. I think Monsters must have had an off-track moment there. Drop down to P18, allowing Craig Steve through. Your subscription just expired, well. You're free short of Matex. Does that mean you got an advert? It's Chris, the insider Massey. Chris looking racy again this week. It's 2 weeks in a row. He's looked super racy. In fact, he did very well in WAOF1, didn't he, as well? He came in as a reserve and did very well on Tuesday. I think it was a little bit of a late moment that sent him down the order, but he had a superb race. Massey getting back, he's got, as you can see behind, he's got Gunnar all over the back of him. Massey was a soft starter, but so was Chris. So Massey has a look to the inside. It does enough, I think, to just worry Chris a bit. Oh, and it's a left field. Oh, this is going to get tight. Oh, this is going to get very tight. Yeah, bit silly. There's a lot going on. I don't think really... I can understand it's a sprint. You don't get that many laps to make the positions, so maybe Bowden would have been better off served not putting his car in there. But, you know, as I say, it's a sprint race, so you don't get many opportunities to, like in a normal race, to make the moves. you don't get the opportunity to undercut or anything like that via pit stops. So absolutely understand that as Volungus gets... Oh, they're side by side. And Checo gets a bit of a whack, I assume, from Volungus and ends up sort of half spin, actually. Now Joker will go side by side, will he? Not quite. Doesn't quite get alongside Checo, but got through almost the whole race without any moments, but in the end... Oh, Mr. Well, thank you ever so much, my friend. And you gifted to Ghost Rider. There's Ghost Rider here. Ghost Rider, hello. May I speak? Position change is going on again. I'm so close to sneezing right now. Oh, don't sneeze. Not live on stream. An overtake going on here. This is SimSpot getting past Gaza for P9. So let's have a quick gander at the position changes. As Chris up 5 places in the sprint. Gaza up 6. Checo up 6. What a job the Red Bull drivers have done through the sprint. Best qualifying from them, but they've really performed in the sprint race. But here we go to the final chance. Lange moves to the inside, moves back to the racing line. That's his one allotted move to and fro. And that's enough to hold off Whoopi and take the sprint win and pole position for the feature race. Orbelange, Whoopi though, P2. Great job from these two, both up 1. Chris though has gotten ahead of Massey. Chris, P3 for the sprint, on the sprint podium. Up 6 places. I don't think there's any doubt who the driver of the sprint is. Massey up 1 for P4. Bowden in the end down 4, but battled bravely throughout. Gunnar P6. Stuck at the edge of the track, but he is across the line, so he is P6. Hunter 7, Corey 8, SimSpot 9, Volungus 10, Gaza in 11, Lycorius 12, Checo in 13. The Red Bull boys there up 5 and 5. They made up 10 positions between them in the sprint race. Really good drive from the Red Bulls team. Real Joker on debut up 1 in the sprint. Craig 15, Cam in the end P16 after a little bit of a spin. I'll just finish the rest off in just a moment. So there we go. The game agrees the driver of the sprint there is Chris. I agree as well. So shout out to the 2 Red Bull boys as well. What a drive they did. So there are our results from the sprint race. SimSpot had a 3 seconds. Checo had a 3 seconds. So he made up 5 places despite a 3-second penalty. But where were we down to? So Cam in P16, Steve 17, Monsters in 18, Bartas 19, Ronaldo in 20th, and those are the places they will start on the grid. Instance, just quickly scroll through just in case the stewards need them, but or the drivers need to grab them. But there we go. So there we have it. Well, that was fun. What a sprint race. I think it was till lap 8 when we suddenly got a couple of little contacts, little moments of contact. But on a whole, it's a brilliant 9 laps. So well done to the drivers. That was fun. Well, you as always are a legend. I do the lump. Right then. having a quick look at the Discord, guys, in the comments. There's a few apologies going on, which is what I like to see, actually, instead of people just arguing. Just a few apologies for a little bit of contact here and there. But anyway, guys, there actually is a break this time, I promise. So I'm going to finish that coffee that I started making in the non-break, and I'll be back in just a moment. See you then. Okay. Back with you. I have my coffee, so Hilly's happy. She put her nails in her hand. That's much better. She winced when she heard it crack. Right, okay. Hunter has given a let's go, so we should be counting down to the start. And we have. Where's the countdown on my screen? I didn't get a countdown. That's not fair. So away we go. Lots of moving about as we head into turn one. Oh, everybody got through okay first time. Can they do it again? Craig's dropped down. Oh, I think Craig has ended up round. Yeah, he has. So I think there's been a bit of contact in turn one this time round. Now Real Joker is dropping down. He's ended up round as well. Ferrari there about and has dropped down. So there's lots of changes. Let me get the position changes up so I can tell you exactly what's happened. So Whoopi's up to what first? Massey into second. Chris is where he started in P3. Boulange is down 3 to 4th. Gunnar up 1, Simspot up 3. Look at the Alfa Romeos, both up 3 to 6th and 7th. As Boulange gets past Chris at Cops. Now Gunnar immediately pouncing onto the back of Chris and just looking for any little mistake that may give him an opportunity to make his way through. How many sugars? I take it that's from my coffee. 2 sugars in my coffee. I am very sweet already, but there's nothing wrong with being that little bit extra sweet. So 2 Williams switch places further down. to the tyres and have a look then. So our current leaders, both on the medium tyres, Boulogne, Chris, Gunnar, all on the hards, Simspot on the mediums, Valungis on the hards. Just a couple of soft starters are Cam and Lycorius. So obviously they're going to have very strong early pace, and in fact, oh no, Cam! Oh, Cam and Steve have both ended up round at turn 1. I can only assume either they've had a contact together or one spun and then had contact. And makes his way through, just trying to decipher if either of them got damage. It is Silverstone, and it is a track where, well, let's be honest, it's a really, really long pit stop here, so the last thing you want is a forced pit stop due to damage. You really are reliant then on the safety car to save you at some point. Just been a bit of a gap created. The two front runners, Whoopi and Massey, have managed to just pull over a second now to Boulogne. It's good news for them, but obviously Boulogne starting on the hards is going to be quicker in the second stint, so that's what he's looking for, is to stay as close as possible and then to attack those guys for the race win. Now, two Ferraris battling away. Obviously, Lycorius on the soft, so ideal for him to be in the front at the moment. But if he can't get away, at some point he will be better off ceding that position to his younger teammate. But right now, he's on the tyre. That means he's better off running as the front runner. They are onto the back of the car ahead, which is Bartas in the Williams. Horrible sound on that Ferrari. Oh, and I'm on that. Let's try a different camera view, see if that sorts the sound out. Sometimes pausing and unpausing sorts it out. Looks like it's done something. Anyway, will Lycorius... It's on the onboard cam, isn't it? It seems okay. It sounds okay on that camera. But when I go on board, it sounds horrendous. Okay, Lycorius in a way, DRS activated. Gets past the Williams and takes P12. You can now start looking forward. I would say a good shout here for Lycorius, if he can do it, would be if he can get onto the back of Corey, who's on the hard tyre, and once he catches Corey, then pit and get off of those tyres to look to undercut, would be a real ideal. I think Steve's had a little moment going into the stadium, but anyway, back up now to... Well, we've got Chris Aguna. I think there's a little move going on. Massey takes the lead. So Massey into P1, Whoopi P2. Boulogne has just picked up 3 seconds. That could hurt him later in the race. Well, I assume due to these two battling, it's allowing Boulogne to come back, and he's almost within the 1 second. Scratch that, he is within the 1 second. Oh no, he's now out of the 1 second again. He's now back in the 1 second, he's back out again. And he's back into the 1 seconds. Did he get DRS is what I'm thinking. No, it doesn't look like he did on that occasion, but that's going to be an easy overtake for Whoopi to retake the lead of the race. But as I say, the problem for these two is as they battle like that, they are allowing Boulogne back in. Not just Boulogne, by the way, it's Boulogne, Chris and Gunnar that they are allowing back in, and these guys will be going to mediums later on in the race and have the advantage in the second half. There are advantages to starting on the hard tyres, and the obvious one that sticks to mind is, of course, well, in fact, this can happen on either tyre in all fairness, but you can get that sort of perfectly timed safety cars. So the medium guys all pit, the medium soft runners, and then the safety car comes out, it is a big advantage to the hard starters, but don't need that to happen to make their strategy work. I still think towards the end of 2022 the hard to medium strategy became really popular, and despite a little bit of sort of uncertainty at the start of this game, I do think now that we're probably returning to that. I think the hard to medium is becoming slightly more popular, although you wouldn't know that today looking at the tyres on the grid, but from my experience recently. Just noticed that I don't know if you noticed that then, like on Silverstone, sorry, on Cops, the sausage curb on the outside. Now, I've not noticed that before. Has that just been done? Because I have driven Silverstone and I can't recall there being one there, so has that just been added? As Hunter and Valungus end up side by side. Hunter into P8. We'll look to get moving forward now. I think that's right. I think it was Hunter making up a place there. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's the right way round. So, oh, Checo. In all fairness to Checo, I think Valungus had a second attempt at the brakes there. I think maybe had to react to Hunter ahead. Really give Checo much chance to react. But all's fair in a way, there's no damage done, so we shall come to... Oh, but that one's not so good. That one is on Checo. That's a bad moment from Checo. And Valungus won't be happy with that one. Back onto track and he will continue on. Yeah, not Checo's finest hour there. In a way. Back to the front. And as you can see quite clearly now, Boulogne and Chris directly behind him, look. And Gunnar just there as well. Right on the back of the leaders who change positions again. Definitely seems, it does seem like Woofy and Massey are hurting each other here. In a sense, they're throwing away a really decent early lead. Because they're battling each other, it seems. Sometimes you've got to come to some sort of arrangement. I'm not saying in a radio, you're not literally in a party chatting to each other, so I don't mean a literal arrangement, but you have to find an understanding that if you've created a gap, you're going to lose that gap. And ultimately, as I said, these guys, when they go to mediums later in the race, are going to have a real tyre advantage over the hards. The only thing that the guys go into hards later in the race is Massey and Whoopi are side by side into Luffield. And well, that's beautiful. Beautiful synchronised racing from the two of them. And Massey, on that outside, he just seemed to get better grip on the exit around the outside. So Massey does actually take that place. But ultimately, they continue this battle. They continue now to be put under pressure behind as well. And ultimately you feel that Whoopi is probably just going to... Oh, maybe not going to... I don't know. He's a little bit further back this time, but he may still take this. Due to the OP nature of the DRS on 23. Hopefully overpower it for Andrew, it wasn't short on that. So, Whoopi into P1 once again. Don't know how many lead changes we've had already, but it's going to be around about 8 or 9, I would have thought. But these 5 producing an exciting race, just like they did in the sprint. It's a shame that Barron's not up in part of this, but he is making his way through though. He is doing very well. He's up to P10. And he's... Well, he had over a 4-second gap to catch to Corey, and he's got it down to 1.7 now, so he's doing very, very well, is Bowden, in his recovery. There's some awesome drives out there. Gaza currently in P6. What a race he's having. Well, he already had a really good sprint, making up 5 places in the sprint. Now he's up to P6. So is that up 4 in the race? Up 5 in the race. Started P11. So what a race he's having. You guys following each other. In terms of pit stops, you can expect the soft drivers in. Literally, like Horace has just gone into the pits as I said that. So yeah, the first soft driver is in. I'd imagine Cam will follow him pretty much. Maybe one more lap, maybe one more, as Bartas is out. That could be a safety car. It is a safety car. He's lost it in Stowe. Or coming out of Stowe. He's lost it across into the wall. And this is dreamland for the hard starters. Medium starters. They will be able to pit to hards under the safety car. The question is going to be, can the hard drivers pit to mediums and get to the end? I think they probably can get to the end, but there's not a massive wear difference between the mediums and hards this year, but there is a drop off in time, so they're definitely going to struggle time-wise by the end of this race. But I don't see what else they can do other than pit now, and that is just completely ruined, quite frankly, the strategy of Boulogne, Chris and Gunnar in terms of winning this race. I'm not saying they can't from here, they're still contenders, but obviously it's going to be hard for Boulogne with the penalty. They've got to pit. Oh, Boulogne just... No, Chris has stayed out. Well, Boulogne picks up 5 seconds for speeding in the pit lane. Chris stays out. I don't know why he had to pit. You lose like nearly 30 seconds for a pit stop around here. If you get the opportunity to pit under a safety car, you take it. That's gonna hurt because he's gonna catch the safety car. The safety car is parked round just after turn 4, so he's actually onto it now. He's just caught it now, so that is gonna hurt. I mean, maybe he's thinking to do more laps under this, on these hards before changing to the mediums, but then it's gonna lose him so much track position. He would have come out the same place as he pitted if he'd have gone in. I don't think anybody else... Well, Ronaldo has stayed out. So it's the other Haas driver. The 2 Haas drivers have both stayed out on the hards they started on. It's disaster for Haas. I mean, it's only my opinion. Another safety car later on could save them, but it's always the case. You've got to make a decision on the spot. And both Haas drivers have opted to stay out on the hard sides they started on. And I can't see that being anything other than a mistake. I really can't, because I just don't see how they're going to make the time up when they do pit. So it's nearly 30 seconds. It's not far off 30 seconds that you lose around here. Like 28, 29 seconds, something like that. It's the longest of the season, I can tell you that. But quite a way as well. Abu Dhabi used to be quite long, but it's not anymore. I think, well, it is still a long one in Abu Dhabi, but I think it's because the Silverstone speed limit is 38 miles an hour, isn't it? Whereas the rest of the season's 50 miles an hour, I believe. So, it doesn't seem a lot, 12 miles an hour, but it is in terms of Formula 1 racing. So so Bottas unfortunately leaves us So since I lost it coming out of Stowe and into the wall, which has caused the safety car, but there's a couple of little incidents at the start, I believe. I think turn 1 caught a couple of people, and then I think there's a couple more at turn 4, was it? I think at turn 3 or 4. But since the start, there's not been a huge amount in terms of incidents happening. Clean racing since then, but we all know things happen at the start. Everybody wants to avoid contact with everyone at the start, but it just doesn't happen sometimes. It's just part of it. It's, all you can do is try and keep yourself out of harm's way. Best way, of course, to keep yourself out of harm's way is to qualify on pole, so that nobody's in front of you. Only one can do that. A little bit of dodgy position changes going on. Yeah, between Simspot and Hunter. I don't quite know why that happened, but anyway, safety car will be coming in this lap. Just waiting for it to confirm. There it is. Race control, safety car in this lap. See that Steve was catching onto the back of it, so the grid is all brought back up together. Everybody has pitted except the 2 Haas drivers. So the 2 Haas drivers on 10 lap old hards, not only are they going to be slow on this restart, but they are going to be falling, well, they're going to lose, as I say, 28 seconds roughly, I think, in a pit stop. They have to make it. I really don't understand why they stayed out, but we'll see if that comes back to haunt them or help them later in the race. So get off. Chris looks to have gotten away okay at the start. Whoopi is already looking to attack into turn 3. Whoopi will be eager to get this move done as quick as he can. He knows the pace advantage. He knows just how much more grip he's going to have on those fresh tyres. So he's already got the move done through turns 3 and 4. And, well, turn 4 it was. And now Whoopi will be saying to himself, right, I need to get away. But Massey's picked up a penalty. Monster's picked up a penalty. That one going on by Volungus and Real Joker further down. So, battling there through cops. Just come down, but as I say, Chris is struggling. There's no doubt about it. He is really struggling. He's already dropped to 4th. And his teammate Ronaldo has already dropped to the back, and 4.6 seconds. Well, he looks to me like he's had a moment at cops or something. There's yellow flags out with Ronaldo. So Volungus and Craig go side by side into Stowe, and Volungus makes up the spot. Craig has a little look at coming back into the stadium, but Volungus covers that off and takes P13. And he is recovering from a bit of a contact with Checo, who's now behind. Remember, Checo, a little bit of a hit up the back at the left-hand just before Luffield, and then he spun, so now he's back onto the back of Checo and looking to get that place back. Oh, who was that? That was Gaza. I'm going to go with Chris. And it does go up the inside. So Chris presumably is going to effectively try the opposite here, I guess. I mean, these guys are going to have to do long stints on their tyres to get to the end of the race, so what does Chris do? Does he just go with this and go really long and then pit to softs or something? Or I just don't think. I can't see any way back for him. I'd say, apart from a safety car, I don't know. I don't see how he can get himself back into the race. So maybe an opportunity here for Cam to ups. Up the inside of Monsters going into Stowe. Nicely done. holds the position as well, and we'll keep that quite comfortably going into the stadium. DRS is now enabled once more as Bowden gets past SimSpot. It looked like SimSpot was on the right there, so I think maybe he'd made a little mistake, which has allowed Bowden through. And Bowden is now back up to P7, and he's on the back of Chris, so he just needs to be a bit careful. Chris on much older tyres than he is, so just needs to be a little bit careful. He's going to be earlier on the brakes than him. So we'll be on the exit of a corner where he gets a much better exit, so might get a chance up to Cox. He's not going to leave you a little door there, Bowden. Just be careful. And to be honest, you're better off just hold position, wait for Maggots and Beckett's, and then use the DRS zone after. And Beckett's, your recovery drives me too good to risk losing it all on a silly moment. So go to the outside. We'll have this done way before we ever reach a corner. So there we have it. Behind, but since what's held off Hunter on that occasion. So Bowden up to P6 then, he'll now get after Gaza. Well, in fact, he's already onto the back of Gaza, so he's in within the 1 second, he's on the mediums, he's got the tyre advantage, a real chance to take P5. Obviously, Gaza may well get the opportunity to come back later in the race as his tyres become the better ones, but right now the advantage lies with Bowden. Absolutely no doubt about that, but Whoopi at the front is sitting pretty right now, as is Gunnar in P4, with the two drivers in between the penalties, as Bowden gets the DRS on Gaza, moves to the inside, gets the move done before braking. He's absolutely flying, this young man. Absolutely flying. He's almost done the recovery drive, but he's going to be smelling a podium. I don't know if he knows that Matty's got a penalty, but he will know that Boulange has. So, if at some time he realises that Matty has as well, suddenly the realisation that he could be back on for a podium could come onto him. So, let's head back down. We've got Chris here with an opportunity to come back ahead of SimSpot. And looks like Hunter's trying to squeeze on the outside of SimSpot as well. And SimSpot loses 2 on the straight. As Chris keeps going. And I think he is perhaps doing what I suggested, and he's going to go long instead and pit for softs. He'll be able to take the fastest lap that way for a point, but I think it's his best opportunity for being able to come back. It's some guys, but it's going to be a long old slog just to get, well, I don't even think top 10 is going to be on the list of possibilities. I believe when he pits, he's definitely going to drop to P17, and I think he will drop to P18. Right, no, scratch that. He will drop to P18. Oh, as he gets attacked from both sides. Ends up in a sandwich. Attack from both sides there by SimSpot and... was it Hunter, I think? Ended up in a sandwich at the left-hander. That was never going to be a nice situation to be in, and I think he will be submitting that to stewards, because that was never right, was it? That was never right. Right, so let's just do that battle. Gaza, since Bowden got through, Gaza is holding with him, by the way. So if we just nip down to that, as you can see, he's still very close. They've got the cars behind, which is the SimSpot Hunter and what was Chris battle. So Gaza. That's sitting pretty at the moment. He can get sort of thinking how his race could look, and he's sitting pretty. He just needs to keep going. If he can hold on to the back of Bowden and let, ideally, if he can let Bowden drag him along, that would be perfect. What they could both do with Bowden and Gaza is these guys beginning to actually fight, but at the moment they seem quite content to sort of follow each other around. By doing this, they're obviously not losing time by battling, and that's regardless what happens now. Bowden has done a superb job fighting back through to get to where he is. So he does have an opportunity to still make a podium here today, but he just can't, he can't force it. He doesn't want to be forcing it. We've got a yellow flag. Appears to be Ronaldo. No, it's not Ronaldo. My apologies, Ronaldo. It's Chris. That was coming out of Stowe, and he's into the pits to make his stop now. Oh yeah, no, Massey through. Sorry, I thought Boulogne just spun, but he hasn't. It's Massey through. Takes the position. P2 now for Massey. I think he was there anyway, wasn't he? Is he just no, it wasn't. It was Boulogne in P2, wasn't it? So, yeah, Massey through into P2. Boulogne is still there. They're still fighting. But I'm pretty sure Boulogne has the bigger penalty in a way, so ultimately would lose that position. Gunnar has picked up a penalty. I missed that, but he's picked up a pen. The only problem at the moment for Bowden is he just can't get onto the back of them because these guys are all giving each other DRS. They're not doing too much battling, although there is now a bit of battling just ahead of us as Boulogne takes P2. So while they're not battling and they're just effectively giving a DRS tow down the straights, it's going to be incredibly difficult for Bowden to catch on to them. But plodding on, there'll be little moments of battles that allow him to take chunks of time, I'm sure. Oh no, and that's going to be a safety car. That will be a... oh, it's a virtual. Are you kidding me? I can't believe that's a virtual. But that is the end of Craig's race. He was spun round, but it's the next... I don't know who, but the next car couldn't avoid him and hit him. And that has ended his race. So unlucky, Craig. But I am so shocked that this is a virtual safety car and not a full one. I'm kind of glad. Don't get me wrong, I'm kind of glad. Would have been interesting to see what people did from there, as Chris has, by the way, pitted to soft tyres. So, wouldn't have been going for the fastest lap that lap in a way because that was his out lap. So, and he won't be doing it this lap now because of this VSC. So it'll be on the next lap. But as you can see, he's got 16 seconds to make up as Ronaldo just to rub salt into the wounds of an already difficult race. Ronaldo gets given a drive through for speeding under VSC, and Massey and Boulogne swap places once more. But that is the biggest shock of a safety car I've ever seen. I honestly cannot believe that that wasn't a full safety car. With where that crash has occurred and where the car was left. How that didn't bring out a full, I will never ever know. And there's a Ferrari in the pits, like Corius. Did he pick up a drive-through? No, it's a stop. I don't understand, it's a straight pit stop for soft tyres. I don't know why he's done that. Well, it's his own, I guess, but seems strange to me. Hunter gets ahead of SimSpot for P7. But they are now over 7 seconds behind Gaza, who's still just about within the 1 second of Bowden. Neither of these guys will have given up yet. They got on the idea of a podium. They know that, well, they may know that the 3 guys ahead have got penalties. How do they go about catching them? Because although they are... Oh, is this a little moment? Massey goes off track, coming out of Stowe. He recovers it immediately. But look at the time difference now to Bowden. It's 3.2, and all of a sudden, that will light Bowden and Gaz's eyes up. That gap suddenly closing like that. That's a very, very uncharacteristic mistake from Massey. I believe that's putting behind Gunnar at this point, and I believe they're on the same penalties. Don't want to look at them at this point. There's still plenty of racing left yet, so we don't want to be looking at the penalties just yet, but I should probably keep them for when they cross the line, to be quite honest with you. It's always a bit fun. But SimSpot was catching Hunter at a real pace there. Lycoris gets past Steve for P15. And Chris, very predictably really, sets fastest lap, 27.9. You would think that Lycoris would be the only one that would be likely to be able to take that off of him. And if he does that, that would probably be this next lap. Swap getting very close through Magnus and Beckett, but it's just a little bit wide coming out. There, Hunter kept the car really close to the left-hand side to try, I guess, to take some tow. SimSpot does manage to get through and up the inside. That's Stowe, that takes that position. Hunter P8, SimSpot P7, but I'm sure that's not the end of that. And they have Corey. He's been very quiet, hasn't he? He's been very quiet, but he's going along quite nicely. Corey in P9 at the moment. Lungus can get onto the back of this group ahead of him. He could suddenly jump sort of, well, 4 drivers in a row that have all got penalties there, so it's a little bit of a challenge for Vlungus. Now he's on 12-lap old mediums, but if he could do that, give him a real opportunity as Monsters pits. Presumably to go to Sauce and try and take fastest lap, but again, really sure why we're doing that. That's throwing away good points. Remember, everybody will score points. If you finish in HRF1, you score points. So it's throwing away points in order to try and set a fastest lap there. Seems a bit strange to me, in a way. Bowden still chipping away, isn't he? Still going. And I believe he's within penalty range of Boulogne still. I'm reasonably sure that Boulogne has got 8 seconds. So, but I think the other 2 have only got 3. I'm just not 100% sure about Massey. I don't particularly want to look. Not sure why, but Gaza has dropped away from Bowden. Whether he's had a little moment or whether that is just Bowden able to get away after breaking the 1 second, I'm not sure. But Gaza looking very good and very comfortable in P6. I think it's probably between Whoopi, Bowden and Gaza at the moment in terms of driver of the day, as Hunter just makes a little mistake. That's inviting SimSpot to have a look up to the left-hander here. Hunter still very much has the inside. Usually the guy on the... Oh well. SimSpot able to get a better exit and has the outside in away because he can take the race in line. As Williams running wide there of Cam. There's a yellow flag out, but it's already disappeared. I don't know who it was, but seems to have been dealt with in a way. Somebody running off track slightly back there. That looks like it was Cam as well. Hunter to the inside once again here. Sim spot. Two cars behind. Oh no, don't put yourself in there, real Joker. Looks like he didn't. That's alright then. He's P10. Well done. Thought he was putting his car on the inside. I thought, oh no. Look at these two. Battling to the end. See, Hunter knows he's got a penalty, so he's never going to... Oh no! I was going to say he's never going to have the position, but Sim's spot spun. Wow, was that a contact? I don't see how he spun if it wasn't, but it did. From what I could see on screen, I didn't see any contact. But it's hard to know how there wasn't, because he seemed to just spin mid-corner, which seems very unlikely. Battling away for so long, it'd be a shame if their battle ended like that. I believe there was contact between them. Was it last week or the week before? Which I think went against X11 or Sinspot. Goodness. Oh, Massey's round! Massey's round at Stowe. No intention of slowing down. That's going to be a retirement. Well, I don't understand the retirement, Massey. He's obviously annoyed, but, I mean, in a really high position, I don't understand that, but there we go. I assume there was a contact there then. Well, I assume there was as well, because Bowden is suddenly 1.2 seconds off Gunnar. Bowden is just going to massive favourite to take P2 in this race. In which case, it's going to be almost impossible not to give him driver of the day. As I might benefit a little bit, but so maybe going to put a little bit of drabness on the end of this race, but we will go to Whoopi, who you can't fault at all. He's driven quite superbly today. As we see Boulange overtaking for P1, but it's completely pointless pretty much. You may get some satisfaction out of finishing the race first on track, but ultimately Whoopi will take the race win. So it's going to be interesting to see how these penalties affect things, but ultimately it's looking like it's going to be a Whoopi win. I believe Bowden P2 and Gunnar P3. I'm not 100% sure, but that, I believe, is how it's going to come out, but we shall see when they cross the line. As Whoopi, with the DRS down to Stowe, retakes P1 and will finish the race first on track, which is right, I think. I think that's good, because I just think that's right. And, oh dear, I think we've got... something's gone wrong, I think. Cops with Hunter and Cam. But sorry, I come off of that for the leaders for that. So Whoopi wins. Boulange with the penalties then actually comes P3, so he stays on the podium. Bowden up to P2, and Gunnar for Gaza then P5 in a superb drive. I'm kind of glad I don't actually have to pick the driver. I mean, I do pick a driver of the day, but the actual driver of the day is voted for in the Discord, and I'm kind of glad about that because, quite frankly, Whoopi, Bowden, and Gaza, I can't pick between the three of them. I think all three of those have done an absolutely superb job tonight. So, there we go. Anyway, the longest was P6. Real Joker, or Real Joker, on debut P7. Well done on debut there, Joker. Very nicely done. Very solid result in this league, P7. And the game says Cam for driver of the day, but he had a penalty, so can't be in my driver of the day. But to the podium we go. Oh, Scottish flag. Let's move on. Right, okay. Race results. Let me get the top guys in. There we go, invite sent. Right, so just to continue down the order then. So, Rail Joker in P7, Corey P8, Simspot P9, Checo 10, Cam in P11, Lycorius 12, Hunter 13, Chris in 14, Monsters 15, Steve 16, Ronaldo came in P17, Massey classified as P18, Craig and Bartas are DNFs for the race. Fastest lap went to Chris with a 1:27. My eyes don't allow me to see the rest of that. I think it says 9:69. But there we go. Race director instance, if I can get them. Quickly scroll all the way down. Oh, there's a lot. It's all exceeded track limits, but there is a lot. Right, there we go. That's all those on the stream as well, in case we need them. Okay, well, welcome guys. If you can all make sure you've included your audio for the stream, please. And
Yeah.
if you're happy that you have, then we'll start a little chat. So, Boulange, hello.
Yeah.
Well done.
Somebody. I really enjoyed that, man. Even though
well done, man. Congratulations, podium.
Yeah.
Take us through your race, buddy. Obviously, the penalties have let you down a little bit, but you still held on to the podium, so you've got to be pleased about that. First, just take us through your race.
I did a big mistake. I didn't, in the start, I didn't press the HRF button. That's why I dropped all the way to P3 or P4. I wasn't aware that I didn't press HRF button. Then I kept the race, tried to catch Whoopi and Macy. They were so fast, even though it was great racing. I didn't take a look to the pit lane speed. That's why I got a penalty. But even though, great racing. I really enjoyed that, man. Really.
Yeah, it was, and you had a superb sprint race as well.
Yeah.
So all in all, a really good night for you. Hopefully this will be first to many podiums, and we'll switch you more regularly. But well done tonight, man. You drove really well tonight. There's some good side by side battling and stuff as well. So it was very good to watch. I shall come to P2. So Bowden. Congratulations. I mean, superb fight back. There's nothing else I can really say about it. It was just, obviously, I don't know, you can tell us what happened just briefly at the start, but whatever did happen, you fought back brilliantly. So just take us through your race.
I don't really know who hit me, but, I mean, it was first lap, we still had 25 laps remaining, and I just thought to myself there would be a safety car and we'd come back in it. And as I was overtaking everyone, the safety car came out, and I was kind of struggling to decide whether I should pit or not. So I pitted for mediums, which turned out good. And then I think I came out in 7th, 6th.
Yeah.
Overtook Gaza and then tried to chase down the top 4.
Yeah.
They had incredible pace, and I mean, like, I caught up because they were battling. I was afraid I would get a puncture on the last lap because I had like 70% all over. So
Oh, right.
yeah. And I
Okay.
tried to keep
That
it.
explains to me actually why
Yeah.
some of the medium tyres were pitting at the end for softs then, because I was a little bit confused why they're doing that, but I didn't think they'd get that close. So, yeah. But no, your fight back though, man, was absolutely superb. There's no doubt about that. In terms of stream driver of the day, I think I'm going to give it to Whoopi today. But to be quite honest with you, I could toss a coin between you, Whoopi, and Gaza. To be quite honest with you, you three all had absolutely superb races. So yeah, fair play to all of you guys. But I think I'm probably going to give my stream driver of the day to Whoopi. But as you know, the actual driver of the day is voted for in the Discord. So we'll see if we'll see if it goes that way. Okay, Whoopi, congratulations, your first win on F1-23. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Take us through, man. I mean, you did sort of. What am I trying to say? I mean, you. I guess those guys around you having penalties sort of pressure off a little bit, but they still wanted to try and get ahead of you, didn't they?
Yeah, well, it was the last lap, and I think it was Boulogne went past me. I just didn't even fight it. I didn't see the point, and I didn't want to lose what I had. So obviously it was my first win on this game, which just took me a while, but it's good finally being up there with the front guys again.
GG, man, GG. Definitely driver of the day, man. Great pace. Definitely.
Thanks, man.
Brilliant drive, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it was only ever a matter of time till you were back up there doing it again, Whoopi. But yeah, mind you still couldn't resist re-overtaking Boulogne down the straight, could you?
Definitely. I felt like I needed to win that on track after leading ever since I got past Chris. It felt like I had to win every lap. I had to pass him on the last lap just so I knew I won it.
Yeah, rather than
sort of try to get away from the penalty of Gunnar. Like in the end of the race, I was up with 2/10.
Yeah, he's hard to shake. No, definitely. Yeah, well, as I say, congratulations, man. It's a shame there was a bit of an incident at the end with Massey. For I don't know what exactly happened, but
I've heard that basically they were going side by side through Stowe, and Massey tapped his side pod and just spun.
Oh right, okay. Well, he got back round though, still in P6, I think. So, but decided to retire in the pits. So that baffles me a little bit. But in a way, that's not for now. That's for stewards and all that stuff. So, yeah. Just to reiterate again, really well done to you three. Superb drives. Whoopi, my driver of the day, but a massive shout out to you, Bowden and Boulange, but also to Gunnar, Gaza, as well, who had absolutely superb races. A little bit of a shame for Chris. He got sandwiched at one point in the left-hander, but he didn't pit. It's the honest truth of it. He didn't pit, and he was the grip difference on the restart was just massive. So there was no way of him holding people off, and I think the problem with Silverstone is a pit stop around here something like 28 seconds or something stupid like that. So, it's such a large amount of time to have to make up by pitting later on that it kind of ruined. And it's both Haas did it as well. Both of them stayed out on the hards that they started on. So didn't quite work out for that team, but there we go. Whoopi, where are we next week?
We are, I think,
Zandvoort.
Yeah, I was just
going
to say that.
Netherlands.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice. Okay, so is that a good track for you guys?
Yeah, my favorite.
Your favourite Blue Launch, okay.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah. I was close to winning it in ARC until I got hit, but it is what it is.
The
But
league
I
who shall
should be
not
up
be
there.
named on this stream. I'm joking. Yeah. Okay, and you, Bowden?
Pardon? I'm sorry.
Right,
No,
nip
I
it.
was
Did
just
you fall
I was
asleep there
just
for a
reading
moment?
yeah, I was
Oh, right.
reading the Discord. What were we
Okay.
talking about?
Just Zandvoort. How's that one for you?
Oh.
That's where we are next week.
Well, it's a good track. I find really good race there. Quality is alright. But I mean, like if it rains, then hopefully we can win because I'm an expert in the rain.
Cool, nice.
Baby.
Yeah.
Okay, there you are. He's a self-proclaimed expert in the rain.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're going to be doing a rain dance next week.
I
Yeah.
cannot say the same.
No, nor me. Okay. Well, there we go, guys. That is Silverstone for this week. Very enjoyable, both the sprint and the main race. Both very enjoyable races. Just the one safety car, which unfortunately I've forgotten which driver it was, but went round out of Stowe and hit the wall. So, although I will say there was another one that brought out the virtual safety car. How on earth that wasn't a full safety car, I will never ever know. Literally,
And I
a
was
car
listening in when I heard you.
destroyed on track, and I was like, "That's a safety car," and then I was like, "Oh no, it's just a VSC." But yeah, I don't quite understand that. But there we go. That's F123 for us. Anyway, guys. Thank you to everybody that's watched along with me. Thanks to everybody that watched this stream back. I really appreciate it. All the leagues that I commentate for, I really appreciate it as well. I will be back tomorrow night for GRL, so please come and join me for that at 8 p.m. Division 3. And so I will see you then. But don't forget as well that HRF1 also race tomorrow night, and that will be with Steve. So please join Steve on his stream for Monday night HRF1 as well at 8 p.m. So have one of us on the telly and one on your phone or something like that. That'll do. Legends. Okay, guys. Good night. God bless. See you soon.
Good night, man.
Yeah.